everybody. Welcome back to Record-ology. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Apologies for last night's show. It took a long time to upload, like 2.5 hours to upload an 8-minute video clip. I have no idea what the problem was, but it finally posted at like 12:30. I fell asleep somewhere along the way. Sometimes YouTube forces you to keep the window open while you're uploading. Anyway, so sorry for the late show there. Hopefully this makes up for it. So, we have before us something super, super awesome. This is the Fisher-Price 1984, at least that's what the date says on this unit, phonograph for children. Now, if you remember, we did the 1978-1979 Fisher-Price phonograph for children. Extremely high quality, durable. They're still around. Like this one, they go for about $30-ish. I wouldn't pay more than $40. You can find them a little cheaper than that. 30 is about average. Interesting. It looks like that's about the original cost as well. So they've held their value very well. How many investments for 40 years will hold a 100% rate of value? So anyway, this is super cool. I got it all cleaned up, tested it out. It all works, and that's super, super fun. You're gonna have to wait a little bit on the 8-track video. I'm not sure how long, but I don't have any 8-tracks, so tapes. So until I get some tapes, can't do that video, but we'll do that as soon as possible. Meanwhile, I'm just doing some cleaning stuff as well, and I'll probably film some inside, under the hood kind of footage in the meantime. But this is super cool. It comes with the box. Again, this is an idler drive, I believe. It's an idler drive turntable. I'm not sure who made these for Fisher-Price, but it's got a lot of little details that lead me to believe it's the same manufacturer as made the original one. It is battery operated, although this allows for AC power. Dang, batteries and records are not included. That's ridiculous. Include the batteries. Just kidding. Include the records. Some kids having fun with this. Ideal for younger children. And again, 3 and up, it carries a lot of those design features that we saw on the original, which is a good thing. Just look at some of the packaging here. Very bright and colorful and great condition. It really didn't take much cleaning. The stylus was in perfect condition. The cartridge, which as you know is an all-in-one kind of stylus cartridge. In fact, it's that same floating style that they used on the original one where the kids can't smash it down. It kind of recedes up into the tone arm. And it's also the same type that you can replace on classroom players and other, turntables of that, era. So yeah, super, super cool. Here's a look at the back, and then I promise we'll look at the actual thing. Big Bird's there conducting things. I found out that little critter there is called Little Bird. So that makes sense. Big Bird and Little Bird. 2 speeds, floating cartridge. Awesome. So there's the box. It even has the manual. Again, pretty rare for a child to take care of stuff like this. Usually, when I had my original Fisher-Price as a kid, back in the 80s, it never even had the lid. I didn't have this one, I had the older one, but didn't even have the lid. So the fact this has everything, and it's all in working condition. There's the manual. 1983 Fisher-Price, a division of the Quaker Oats Company, which is interesting. There's a lot of copy on the box and everything that says that it's made to the specifications of Fisher-Price. So obviously it's made by somebody. And somebody had told me, or I had read somewhere a long time ago, who that was. And I have since forgotten, couldn't find it again. But whoever they are, they made good stuff. It's a testament to the fact they still work today. Okay, so let's start with the actual unit. This color is being represented, as far as I can tell on camera, pretty well. It's kind of a pale yellow. Maybe not quite as pale as it looks on camera, but it's definitely not a super bright yellow. It's a kind of almost a pastel, kind of pale yellow with a bright green plinth. This lid has this relief of Big Bird. Love Big Bird, the music notes, Sesame Street. There's the Fisher-Price, everything there. I do have the power plugged in, 6-volt power supply. I'm using a multi-power supply. On the back, you can see the hinges. And the hinges pop off very easily if you want to take the lid off. And I was able to scrub it with soap and water. There was just some, dust and grime, just like you'd expect. And I took a sponge and a scrub brush, Came right off. Looks as good as new. Nothing on this side. On the bottom, you've got the rubber feet. This one has Phillips screws. I don't know if you can tell there, but the screws are Phillips, which is great because my other one has those weird star, terrible safety screws. The idea is that you don't want the kids grabbing the screwdriver and taking it apart, but it made it very difficult, me trying to take it apart and put it back together without a proper screwdriver for it. Here's the battery compartment. It's pristine in there. Absolute, no corrosion whatsoever. It's got the same green plastic as the plinth. I did test out the battery, and it worked fine. So let's take a look under the hood. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit. Not too much, because I want you to see the inside of the lid, too. There it is. Let's start with the lid. So the inside we got... Okay. And it pops off just as easy as that. But it snaps onto... By the way, something really cool. You'll notice the hinges are flat on the back. So it allows it to stand upright like that. Little design things like that that are truly genius, I think is awesome. So this is a nice... gosh, I'm not trying to snap those on the right way. Okay. Apparently this is above my pay grade. Good night. All right. I promise you it's connected perfectly. I'm just doing stupid stuff to it. So you've got the sticker back there with Big Bird. Hey, there's Little Bird conducting the beautiful music that you're going to have on this record player. Down here, the plinth is green plastic, bright green plastic. It's got that awesome, just like the other one, retractable 45 adapter. This platter, which is just a smooth, hard plastic with an even slighter pale or yellow, is really recessed. So this only goes up, needs to only go up a tiny, tiny bit to engage. And then it just goes back down. I think that's genius. You'll notice that the spindle is now chrome. It's a metal one. The original had the orange plastic. By the way, somewhere I saw recently the blue version of the original Fisher-Price. Thought about picking it up. It's identical to my other one, but it's everything that's orange on that is blue. Just don't have the emotional connection to it. And neither do I with this because I never had this, but at the same time, it's super cool. It's super clean. It's a good price. Paid $30 for this. An extra $10 and I got the 8-track. And it's in great condition. Tone arm, it's all kid friendly. So you got, the idea is you handle the bird and his nose points to where the stylus is. Let's see if I can tilt this bird. I'm just going to pop the lid off for now because apparently it's too much for me to do all at once. But you can see the cartridge there. It's that same type. It recesses. So you can't, if the kid, slams it down on the record, it's not going to do much damage. And then you can just pull the black piece right there out and it slides out, and that's a cartridge. Now, it activates the platter when you lift up the tone arm. At first I thought it was when you rotate it, but it's when the switch is not engaged. You can hear a little bit of hum there, but I think the volume's up kind of high. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's got this really nice speed select knob and volume roller, which I think is genius. That's a great way to do it. The other volume control on the other one was a little bit finicky, or not finicky, but it took a little bit of force, whereas this is super gliding, super smooth, 2 speeds, all that good stuff. There's a nice shot of Little Bird right there. And while we're looking up close, here's a close-up of the 45 adapter. I just think that's genius. Yeah, this really feels like an idler drive. It's really heavy. It's got a lot of inertia, a lot of mass inertia, but there's no rubberized anything. It's just kind of interesting, but it works fine. So we're going to listen to this. It works great. It's a great little unit. But I need a good record to play a Sesame Street record player. So, got a Sesame Street record. And here we got Ernie's Hits. DDD. Would you like to buy an O? These are great classics. Ernie's Drum. But if you're thinking Ernie and you're thinking Sesame Street, you're thinking Rubber Ducky. That's the song. So, without further ado, now here's a funny little story for you guys. So, when I first was testing this out with batteries, and I went to play this, it sounded like his voice was too low in pitch. And I'm like, I don't remember him sounding like that. I thought to myself, maybe this thing is running low, maybe the batteries need to be replaced. So that's why I went and grabbed the power supply. But it sounds the same. And I'm like, is this turntable just slow? So I grabbed another record and tested it. No, it's spot on. Perfect pitch, perfect speed. both at 45 and 33. It's just the actor on here singing has a lower voice for Ernie than I remember. So let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of a few songs here. So fine that you're mine, Robert Ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Doesn't that sound lower than you remember? It sounds lower than I remember.
Everybody wash your tummy.
It's got a very punchy, loud, bright speaker.
That's it, jump! Here we go. Running across the river. Oh, my trusty river.
I love this stuff.
Hey, everybody, I have an idea. Let's draw a picture of a person.
And when I watched, Sesame Street as a kid, it was the 70s version or the early 80s version. So I just don't remember Ernie sounding that low.
It's the middle of imagination.
Wonderful singing skills. Maybe that's why they got rid of him. Just to prove my point, I've got a song that I know you'll recognize the appropriate pitch on, and that is another children's record, Disney's Pinocchio. And we're just going to play a little bit of that, and you'll hear what I'm saying. It's got, the pitch is fine. Maybe if I pick a better spot.
I got no strings, so I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone.
So, pitch is not an issue. It's just the actor had a lower voice than I remember. I realized after I filmed this and I was editing this that I do indeed have a pitch issue. So I'm going to have to open it up. But the good news is it's going to make for another interesting show. Anyway, that's going to do it, you guys. That is the Sesame Street Phonograph from Fisher-Price. Again, I don't see this one up there as much, or for sale as often as I see the other one. But this is cool. I love the design. I don't know why I can't keep that lid on. And it actually is really rugged. And again, the lid has these guide pieces that force the tone arm into place when you're carrying it. So you don't have to worry about, doing any damage to it. It's super rugged. But you can find stuff like this. Just keep your eyes peeled. Look on Craigslist. Look on eBay, but you'll have to pay shipping on eBay. Look at Facebook Marketplace. If you're looking for your childhood record player, chances are they're out there, especially if it's something from the 80s like this. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this show. Hope it was something interesting, a nice diversion perhaps. But that's going to do it for now. So happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.